I'm really delighted and excited to announce the new head coach of Arsenal Football Club as Unai Emery.
After 22 years of seeing Arsene Wenger lead the team onto the pitch, Gunners fans will have a new face to look forward to after the World Cup. Unai Emery pipped his countryman Mikel Arteta to the top job on account of his experience. He won 3 consecutive Europa League titles at Sevilla, picked up the French League at PSG and also won back-to-back cup doubles there. So, Emery brings a winning mentality and has had success both domestically and on the European stage. As every manager does, he'll bring new faces with him, and based on what the Gunners need and what Emery likes, here are our top 5 summer signings for Arsenal.
I want a squad very intensive for the pressing.
For a man who broke the transfer world record signing Neymar for 200 million last summer, Emery's spending has been quite conservative. At Sevilla, he never spent more than 10 million on a single player, and at Valencia, he brought through youth talents like Juan Mata and Jordi Alba.
This guy won 3 European trophies in the last 5 years at Sevilla, right? And he's just won the treble at PSG, and he won 2 trophies at PSG the year before. That's fine for me, right? This guy's a winner, and he's a guy who knows how to bring on young players, and he's clearly very intense, very driven. The more you read about him, the more you learn about him, the more you talk to the guys who really know, the more excited I think I'm getting.
So Unai Emery may be able to make do with Arsenal's frugal transfer policy, and in Sven Mislintat, they have the keenest pair of eyes in world football to scout the top talents. Arsenal goalkeeping legend David Seaman was among those to point out that Arsenal's defence should be their #1 priority when it comes to summer signings, so let's start off in his position. Peter Cech is getting on a bit and hasn't really been playing his best football for the past few seasons, and David Ospina is, well, David Ospina, he's not that great. Over in Germany, there is a goalkeeper who could be the solution to their problems. Bayer Leverkusen have just snapped up Lukas Radetzky on a free from Frankfurt, which means their #1, Bernd Leno, could be available this summer. I reckon he could go for anywhere between 15 and 30 million. At 26, he would solve the goalkeeping problem for a long time, and he's both a good shot stopper and good with his feet, and even made it into Jogi Löw's Germany World Cup squad. Moving on to outfield players, we stay in the Bundesliga and head to Dortmund, Sven Mislintat's former employer. Now, the chief scout is said to be keen on rehiring Sokratis Papastathopoulos, nailed it, the Greek defender. He's a former teammate of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and Henrik Mkhitaryan and could provide some much-needed experience to a back line featuring Callum Chambers, Rob Holding and his compatriot Konstantinos Mavropanos. He's been a consistent performer in the Bundesliga over the last 5 seasons, but his age could also be a negative, with Arsenal maybe not keen on investing heavily on such an old centre-back. Arsenal have also been linked with 21-year-old Freiburg defender Kagla Soyuncu, or as he's actually pronounced, Shola Soyuncu, but he's pretty raw and Arsenal have quite a lot of young centre-backs in their squad, so I reckon Sokratis is the way to go. The deal is more than doable, as of course Arsenal's chief scout Sven Mislintat was the one who signed him for Dortmund in the first place, and Mislintat has a good relationship with his agent, who's also the agent for January signing Konstantinos Mavropanos. Moving up the pitch into a central midfield position which has arguably not been sorted out since Patrick Vieira left Arsenal years ago. My pick would be Steven Nzonzi. He was initially signed by Unai Emery in 2013 and played for Blackburn and Stoke previously, so he brings Premier League experience and a bit of steel to the silky Arsenal midfield. A few years ago it was reported that his contract contained a €30 million release clause, although that sounds a little bit too good to be true. So what do you think, Gunners fans? Should Arsenal splash the cash and get Steven Nzonzi? Now, moving on to attacking areas where Arsenal invested heavily in January, signing Aubameyang and Mkhitaryan, but Unai Emery has been used to an abundance of class managing PSG, so he could be tempted in signing a few more players up front. My first pick would be Wilfried Zaha of Crystal Palace. Now, he had a great season, notching up 9 goals and 5 assists, and would probably have gotten more in a better team. And also, he's an Arsenal fan. Sounds too good to be true. He also looks like he's matured physically and mentally. And after an unsuccessful stint at Manchester United, where he was probably too young and unlucky to be there when David Moyes took over and wasn't willing to take a risk, I think he's ready for a big move. Another reason he reportedly never got his chance at Manchester United was because he allegedly had an affair with David Moyes' daughter. But as far as I know, Unai Emery doesn't have any daughters, so no problem there. Last but not least is a classic Arsenal player, Germany international Julian Draxler of PSG. Unai Emery actually signed him to PSG, so we know he rates him. And last season he slid down the pecking order with Mbappe and Neymar arriving, but still made 47 appearances in all competitions. 29 of those were starts, and 5 goals and 10 assists isn't a bad haul. He's unlikely to be happy with a role on the bench for much longer and could be tempted with a move to North London, although he may be a little bit pricey for the frugal Gunners. So, what do you think? Who should Arsenal and Unai Emery look to sign this summer? What do you make of my picks? Let us know in the comments and stay up to date in the OneFootball app on all the latest transfer news.